So let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like women just go for older guys? Like, no matter how decent you are, they seem to be drawn to someone, I don't know, 10 years older with a salt pepper beard. And well, it's one of those things that gets talked about a lot, especially when you're in your 20s and trying to figure out if being young automatically puts you at a disadvantage. And I get it, sometimes, well, feels a little unfair, but what if I told you there's actually a reason behind it, or several actually, and some of them might surprise you. But before we start, if you're interested in dating Eastern European women or just want to understand them better, their culture, I share exclusive tips on my Patreon, from cultural differences to what really works when messaging or talking to them. Well, plus I offer one-on-one advice if you ever need personal help. The link's in the description. Now, the short answer is women do often go for men who are a bit older. That's true. There's even data backing that up. Researchers looking at global dating trends have found that on average, women tend to prefer men who are about 4 to 8 years older than they are. That doesn't mean every woman wants a sugar daddy, and it doesn't mean that if you're not in your 30s or 40s, you've got no shot. It just means there's a pattern. But like with most things in relationships, it's not just about age, it's about what that age represents. Older guys are often seen as more grounded, more emotionally steady, more certain of what they want. They've usually had more time to figure out themselves. And let's be real, most women are tired of the guessing games. They want a guy who's clear, consistent, and carries himself with purpose. But here is something most people miss, that maturity gap isn't only emotional, it actually starts in the brain. Actually, there are studies using MRI scans that shown that the female brain reaches full cognitive maturity a few years earlier than the male brain, sometimes by as much as 5 to 7 years. So when a woman in her early 20s says she wants someone older because guys her age are immature, it's not just an opinion, there is real science behind it. The areas of the brain that control decision-making, emotional regulation, and long-term thinking develop earlier in women than in men. So sometimes it's not that she wants someone with more money, she just wants someone whose brain and emotional awareness are closer to where she's at. And if we go way back, like evolution kind of wired us for this too. I'm not saying women sit around thinking like cavemen, but deep down, attraction is still influenced by survival instincts. Back then, a woman's best chance at keeping herself and her children alive was to find a man, who could protect her, feed her, and handle threats. And usually that wasn't the 19-year-old still figuring things out. It was the guy who had fought few battles, built shelter, maybe even led others. Fast forward to today, that same instinct shows up in a different way. A stable job, life experience, emotional strength, those are the modern versions of survival value. And most of the time, guys who've had time to go through stuff, build something and learn from it, they are older. So when a woman wants someone who's more secure, more settled, it's not superficial, it's natural. But, and this is important, that doesn't mean younger guys can't compete. You absolutely can, because at the end of the day, women aren't attracted to the number on your driver's license. They are drawn to how you act, how you carry yourself, how you respond to challenges. If you're 25 but have clarity, direction, and emotional intelligence, well, you can absolutely be more attractive than a 30-year-old guy who still can't communicate or commit to anything. And women notice that. They feel it immediately, guys. Also, I think it's important to mention that in some cultures, especially in Eastern Europe, Latin America, parts of Asia also, the idea of dating an older man is still very common, even expected. It's not seen as weird or questionable like it sometimes is in Western countries. There is a kind of respect for age there, and older men are often seen as more reliable, more capable of protecting or leading a family. That mindset influences how women are raised to view relationships, and it's important to understand that these values still shape attraction today. Also, just to be fair, same-age relationships can be amazing. There is this idea floating around that same-age couples always struggle because neither person is more mature, but that's not really how it works. Studies have actually shown that couples who are close in age often report more relationship satisfaction and better communication. When you're the same age, you usually share similar cultural references, similar life goals, and you're going through the same phases at roughly the same time. You're both building careers, figuring out your lives, learning about relationships, and that kind of emotional alignment can create a really strong bond. As long as both people are emotionally present, being the same age can actually be a huge strength. Now, some guys ask, Okay, but which is better then? Is there a winning combo when it comes to age gaps? And honestly, science doesn't give a clear answer. Women often feel more satisfied when the man is a little older, especially early on. But as time goes on and as gender roles shift and women gain more independence, the importance of age seems to fade. More than age, what really matters is how the two people interact, whether they have emotional maturity, shared values, mutual respect. And age can help when it comes with wisdom and stability, but it doesn't guarantee anything. And being younger doesn't hurt you if you're confident, kind, and emotionally grounded. And let's also not ignore how modern dating has changed things. Women today are more educated, more financially independent, and way more outspoken than they were even 20 years ago. They're not just looking for someone who can provide, guys. They are looking for someone who can partner with them. And that changes the whole equation. You don't have to be a provider in the traditional sense, but you do need to show that you can handle life, that you're emotionally present, that you're not going to collapse under pressure or disappear the moment things get real. So what should you do with all this? If you're younger, don't assume you're automatically out of the game. Focus on being the kind of man who brings value to the relationship, not just through money or status, but through how you think, how you speak, how you show up. Build your character, build your confidence, learn to lead in a calm and steady way. And yeah, that takes time, but if you're doing the work, it shows and women can feel it. And if you're older, use it well. Don't rely on your age alone to carry you. Some guys hit 40 and think they're instantly more desirable just because they've lived longer, but if you haven't learned anything from those years, if you're still bitter about your ex or you talk down to women, that age doesn't help you. What does help is showing that you've grown, that you've healed, that you've got something to offer emotionally, not just materially. Attraction is layered. Yes, age can play a role, but it's never the whole story. Some women love dating older men because they feel more safe and guided. Others prefer someone their own age because they want a teammate who's going through the same challenges. And yeah, there are women who like dating younger guys too, especially when that younger guy knows who he is and isn't insecure about it. So it's not about chasing some ideal formula, it's about knowing what kind of man you're becoming. And just to throw in one more thing, when it comes to lasting relationships, studies show that the biggest predictor of success isn't age difference, it's emotional intelligence. Can you talk things out? Can you handle stress together? Can you laugh, grow, forgive, evolve as a team? That's what builds something strong. And those qualities have nothing to do with how old you are. They have everything to do with how you choose to show up. So yeah, women often prefer older men, but what they really prefer is maturity. And maturity isn't something that magically appears when you blow out 35 candles on a cake. It's something you build. If you're working on yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally, then trust me, you're already becoming more attractive than most guys out there. And that has way more power than age ever will. This is Anastasia and Matryoshka Tips. See you in the next one. Thank you.